to a point that's so extreme, people have to make hard decisions sometimes. I know for a fact that within a month after the film was completed, there was verification that some policemen had seen it. So the Falun Gong practitioners in China they're really amazing. They got the files, they made the copies, and somehow they got it to the police. And that was verified. So it's up to them, you know. It's up to them. They can think about it and make their own decisions. But that's what it's all about. That's what I sat down to write the movie for. In terms of the film festivals, that was a thought that came later on. I thought that this movie also might have some benefits in terms of helping people outside China also understand the persecution. I didn't know how much people could connect to it because I wrote it with my understanding of the situation in China and what the police are already aware of. But I decided to enter it into a couple of festivals just to see what the response would be, and it was accepted, and it ended up being screened in about 60 festivals. Jason Pomerleau, he organized all of the festivals. He took over very early on and put all that together and organized it. And then the awards, every time it was unexpected, and it's very nice, very much appreciated. I met a lot of really good people at all the festivals, and did some Q&As, about 25 Q&As I'd say, at one at each of the festivals, and they were very good. People had very good questions, and we had some really great conversations, going from like an hour to 2 hours. It was, yeah, it was a great experience going to the festivals.
Karmic retribution is a theme in the movie. Is this a Western belief as well?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, the idea of good rewards good, evil rewards is evil. I think it's something that's believed in many different cultures. It's said in different ways. For example, there's you sow, you reap. There's a very common saying, what goes around comes around. So people can certainly understand that principle, the idea of karma. I know there are people of different faiths. Some faiths don't specifically talk so much specifically about karma, but the people who practice them do talk about karma, and they understand that that sort of principle or function of the universe where things balance out in terms of positive and negative interactions and having to pay for your bad deeds, etc. And certainly throughout this movie, the policeman painfully becomes aware of the reality of that principle. So. Yeah, it's a central theme in the movie, definitely, and again aimed at the policemen to try and encourage them to think more clearly about what it is they're doing.
Sandstorm is being released while the persecution is still ongoing. Has it been effective in raising awareness?
Well, it's difficult to tell how broad an effect the movie has had at this point. But that certainly is a unique aspect of the movie, which is that it's a movie made to raise awareness of a persecution that's still ongoing, which has a profoundly different potential at being helpful than, of course, a movie that has been made after the persecution has run its course. So I hope that people who have seen the movie will take some kind of action, even if it's as simple as talking to their friends about what's happening. As marketing people know, word of mouth is the best way to communicate. So even by doing that, I hope that people have talked about the persecution. Yeah, they are. The performances really... You know, I didn't know what to expect because, of course, I knew that most of these actors had never acted before. They have a very strong awareness, of course, of the persecution going on in China, and they were all raised in China, except for Annie Lee. So they have a deep connection to what's happening in the movie, but that doesn't mean they can act. And I was blown away every day by performances from different people. Like the lead character in particular, he has a massive role there, and he operates on so many different levels, and he just really inhabited that role. And he went from fury to tears to a very wide range of emotions throughout the performance, and completely believable, on par with any professional. And the same throughout. The whole cast was very strong in their performances, and of course, while also being an actor myself, I understand that especially with this kind of a movie, a character-driven movie that is about story and it is about character, that if you don't have the performances, you don't have a movie. Because it'll be very difficult for them to engage themselves in the movie completely if the performances are something that aren't helping to facilitate that imaginative journey on the part of the audience member. So huge amount of credit to the performers.
Do you practice Falun Gong yourself?
Yes, I've been practicing Falun Gong now for about 8 years. I first heard about the practice itself through reading about the persecution, which is one of the ironies about the persecution. Before the persecution began, not a lot of people outside of China had heard about Falun Gong. But then when news started to spread about the persecution, even though a lot of the propaganda and lies from the Chinese regime, they actually did make their way, especially at the beginning, out into the Western media around the world. People were still curious to find out about the practice on their own, and unlike China, they're free to go and search for whatever they want in terms of information. So a lot of people, they found out about what it was, and began practicing. It's practiced in over 80 countries now. And personally, when I had read about the persecution, I had looked on the internet just a little bit, but one day I opened my apartment door and I saw this news flyer that said truth, compassion, forbearance. And I thought, that's a lot. Those principles, it struck me right away. And I wondered, who is it that's saying this? And I saw that this was Falun Gong. And so I just went on to the internet and checked out some of their websites, particularly the Canadian website, because I was in Canada, and I was wondering what the situation was with the practice there. And over a number of months, I eventually just started reading the teachings on my own and started to do the practice, because it's struck a very, very, very profound and deep chord within myself, and opened up much broader understanding and perspective on life in general.
Thank you.
Thank you.